start, we have to go to the 1866 when the Pope gave the picture of the icon to us in Rome with the command, make her known throughout the world. Then when the first Redemptorists came in 1906, they brought the icon, or as it was called then, picture of our Mother of Perpetual Help. Now you have to move from 1906 to 1946. But everywhere we went in the missions, there was always a part about the Mother of Perpetual Help. And in Iloilo at that time, before the novena started, there was confraternity of our Mother of Perpetual Help, or as it was called then, Mother of Perpetual Succor. And this was association of people with devotion to the Mother of Perpetual Help. Then, because of the war years and the bombing, Americans were involved, as you know from your history. And so when these American soldiers came, there were some of them were from Boston, they asked Father Nolte and Father O'Connor, who were the two left, why not start the novena? But they were a bit reluctant because they hadn't heard about it. In April of 1946, they went to the Archbishop and asked could they start the novena. So he gave approval. So they started the novena on May 13, 1946, in this church here that you have seen. And according to the reports, there was only 70 people present. I have tried to find out what time that novena was at, but I'm not able to pinpoint, but I presume it would be somewhere at 5 o'clock. In those times, of course, there was no afternoon masses. All masses were said in the morning. So in the afternoon, it was a devotion. So they had the novena followed by benediction.
The earlier version of the novena, as far as I can recall, both from Iloilo and Cebu, it was novena prayers and benediction of Blessed Sacrament.
Then they had this, they said this was all in English. Then eventually there was a demand that there would be one in Bisaya. So they translated it, and they had one in Bisaya, which was around 5 o'clock, and the English one was at 6:15. And that was just two novenas. But according to the history, after 6 months, they said there was almost 500 people attending both of these. I mean, put the two together, 500. Now, in the beginning, in the Iloilo, there was always, they didn't know what day to put on the novena. But mainly in Iloilo, it was on a Monday. But when the novena transferred to Manila and to maybe Cebu, they decided to put it on the Wednesday. So eventually, Iloilo changed to the Wednesday. So all of them were Wednesday. The reason I think for the Wednesday was more or less in the middle of the week, because if you had the novena, you had Sunday and then you had Monday, it was too severe. So I think the fact they made the Wednesday, but now, of course, Wednesday is associated with Mother of Perpetual Help. At that time, there was no lay involvement except in choir or playing. So the priest was the one who led the prayers. When later on in the late 60s, when there was permission given for, after Vatican II, there was permission for afternoon masses. So that's where you began to have the novena coupled with the mass. Naturally, everywhere we went, the novena went. In the mission areas, that's where we also went. We brought the novena, we brought the booklet. It was through the missions that really the novena spread. Not from the church, but in the mission. So in those years, you had this missions in Sagay, and that's where the famous Mrs. Havalosa came into it, because it was in her farm that they had this novena, and then they, as a kind of Thanksgiving, pasalamat pala, sa pasalamat for her kindness during the mission, they gave her a picture, as which is called, but the icon of the Mother of Perpetual.
Kasunod duman ko sang nag-abot ang mga Redemptorist priest sa amon, sa baryo, siya na ang nagbaton. Sa balayagin pa istar, isang natapos na ang ila misyon, gintagaan na sa gift sa pare. Si Father Casey, na-remember ko kagang yung food. In fact, tagaan na siya sa icon sa Our Lady of Perpetual Health. Nag-sign gani, ginbutangan nila dedication. Gin treasure, yagid na gift sa iya. In fact, ang ina nga image, ara gina sa center sa iya altar. Isang nagpaulit na kami di sa Bacolod, nag-transfer kami di sa Bacolod, gindalay man na ara man na gyapon sa center sa iyang altar. Huwag ginaano. Dira sa Redemptorist nagasimba, kag halos tanan-tanan yung mga pari sa Redemptorist kilala yagid. Iyagid na mga migon niya. In fact, ang collector sa Redemptorist, ng tagaan niya ng uniform, kay siling niya every Wednesday, kung naga-Novena, maayo gid niya naka-blue ang ilabayo.
If I say Mass of the Family, I would say that the great inspiration I have as a priest now, even up to now, was the witnessing of Night Patring and her love for her family, and her love for the church, and her love for the people of God. In her devotion, to the Blessed Virgin Mary, especially to our Mother of Perpetual Health. Because I would always see her daily, actually, also going to church, wherever it is, because their house was also near to the Redemptorist Church in Bacolod. I would always see that she was always there, with her chaperons and everyone who would come with her. And even if she would do that, there's no miss, actually, in what she did. She was very faithful, actually, in her devotion, especially in going to Mass every day.
She lost her mother at the age of 4. Since then, si Lolo nagbuhay binata. So, si nanay na ninguha para sa iya kaugalingon, how to survive. Naga-stay siya sa iya mga aunties, na-transfer siya from one aunties to another. While ara siya sa iya auntie, ga-help siya sa balay, gabulig siya kung ano ang household nga nga obra, like washing the dishes, cooking. Tapos every Friday may ara na siya isa ka auntie na nga may restaurant sa Sagay, sa Vito. Inang nagabulig siya as food server. She got married at the age of 16. Si tatay nagaobra as a teacher sa amon nga baryo. After sa ma-off siya sa iya klase, ga-sideline siya as a driver. Though pampasahero nga jeepney from our baryo to the town. So, while wait na siya sa mga pas-asang jeepney nga mapuno, ga-sideline pa gid na siya nga mag-work siya as a kargador. Tapos, si nanay naman, wala gasalig lang siya sa kay tatay. In her own way, nagapangita man siya sang negosyo nga iya, any negosyo nga iya mahimo para mabulig niya sa ila income, para mabulig niya sa kay tatay, magsagod sa ila kabataan. Nanay was very enterprising, bisan anong na lang klase sang negosyo, ginasudlan niya, like magbaligya siya bugas, baligya sang tabako, baligya sang kung ano-ano lang nga pwede ya mabaligya para manegosyohan niya. Nakuha man na namon sa kay nanay ang iya pagka-enterprising bala, do na influence kami niya sina nga bisan ano lang pwede mo mahim kung imo gitutukan imo obrahon. And then ang imo ginapakaon sa imo pamilya dapat halin sa imo pinangabudlayan.
Sinanay pertigid ka devoted gid na sa iya sa parte sa Ginoo. Kay ina siya do wala siya bladalangpan nga kabulig sa kundi sa Diyos ng tikanan. Sigda yung ang belief na guro mas bisang body nga nagabulig kina sa all the time. Kay through sa kadagihuryado guided man di siya pero which wala man na sa iya may nagadikta nga maamo na siya. Di pero pa iti lang na sa iya ka religious nga babae. With hasta kami nga kabataan, doon nadala naman lang namon tanan. Kasi halos ang gagmay pa kami, yan na kami na ginadala kung diin sa simbahan, maski amon mga kabataan, himuon niya na mga assets sa church.
Si nanay, isa na siya ka modelo sa akon pagtuo. Isang gagmay pa kami, ginadalayagid kami sa simbahan na magsimba. Pagdayon, siya nag-isa man kasi WL, kag ako yaman ko ginpasulod para nga may upod siya nga maglakad kami sa simbahan. Kortigito siya ka devoted sa Mama Mary, gabi magrosaryo. Kag amo man na ang isa ka butang nga siya gani siya nag-apre sang Flores de Mayo dito sa amon baryo. Pag kada Mayo iya gina sa ulog, siya pa nagapakaon sa kabataan. Siya man kung kaisa nagahimo na siya sa mga uniform nga mga angel para lang gid nga daw nami man magprosesyon. Gani sa subong nga wala na si nanay, amon man gihapon ginapadayon ang iya mga hilikoton labi na gid sa mag Flores de Mayo. Amon man ginahatagan subong ang mga kabataan school supplies, mga bags, mga papel, lapis kag agud to para man nga mag-eskwela sila may ara na sila nga jutay nga bulig halin man sa kay nanay.
Gagmay pa kami. Inadalayagid kami na father sa simbahan. Na-train gid kami how to pray. The rosary kay siling niya kinahanglanon gid. Kung mag-flores na siya, ginapaparticipate gid kami, including ang iya mga apos. Tapos nag-form na siya sang barangay sang Birhen. Every night kina-transfer naman ang image from one place to another. Siya nag-lead sa prosesyon. Nagaupod man na kami sa iya.
Si nanay, very religious. Kaya nga, kapin pa nga inang intrahan niya na tanan nga mga inang organisasyon. Kasi pareho sa CWL. Inang CWL, every month may meeting sila. Pagkatapos, inang ituon niya gina ang iaturno siya birthday. Pagpreparar gid siya. Kung sining tayo sana mapreparar ta, pagkaunon ta ni mga CWL. Nay, muhatag na lang blata kwarta sa pari. Kay kabudlay man ang luto-luto. Nga hindi maluto ng tabala. Kay mapakaunon ta gid na sila. Dosunti manghapot ko mga pinggan, mga sa simbahan. Si nanay, ging very gid sa kay Mama Mary. Na bisan mabudlay sa amon, magsunod, na-realize namon nga gali
husto gid ang pagtudlo ni nanay sa amon. Nga hasta subong ging sunod gid namon ang iya gintudlo sa amon kapin pa mag ang devotion namon kay Mama Mary na amo ginaging kwa namon kag ang iya Flores de Mayo hasta subong amon gid wala na namon kay untat kami na subong ang nag-take over sa iya obra hasta sa mga bata kay lain gid gali kung malapit ka kay Mama Mary kay damo gid ang nahatag nga mga blessing sa amon.
Si nanay, nagdako nga wala sa isa ka iloy. Wala siya may nakita nga example nga iya sundon. Pero tungod sang iya faith, tungod sang iya pagsalig sa Dios kay Mama Mary, inang napadako ya kami, na nadalaya kami sa maayo, na influence ya kami sa amon religious life. Very close gid ka ang amon nga kwan sa church through sa iya pangamuyo kay mabatian ko na kung kaisa in one of our prayers nga ma-mention na siya, Mama Mary, tudloi ko kung paano maging isa ka iloy sa akon kabataan, kung paano ko sila padakuon base sa inyo sa pagbuot sa Ginoo. Gatudlo gid sa amon nga ang pagdala sang pamilya kinahanglan may ara respeto, may ara love, kag of course hindi pagdulaon ang pagtuo sa Dios. Sa tanan nga tiyempo, ang inyo nga paghirupay, ang closeness nyo, updan nyo gid sang pagpangamuyo. Ang amo man ang akon experience sa akon ginikanon kung paano nila kami ginpadako, paano sila nagtinguha para nga mapadako because we are 8 in the family. Napag-graduate nila kami tanan. Ang ila influence, ang ila pagpadako sa amon, ang pag-rare nila sa amon, gusto ko man nga i-impart, gusto ko man amon ang akon sundon para pagpadako sa akon kabataan. Because nakita ko ang resulta sa amon. Kung ano kami subong. Gusto ko ang akon bata, ang amon kabataan, magsunod man. Kay maayo kami nga pagpadako. Gusto ko man nga sundon kung paano kami nila ginpadako.
I think this was the very focus of her life, that her intimacy with the Lord in terms of her love for God, in terms of her how she was deeply affectionate to the Blessed Virgin Mary, to our Mother of Perpetual Health. Actually, these were the source of her integration, of how she brought this love for God, devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary, also to how she would fairly, sincerely and charitably deal with her family. So that's, I think, the relationship that she was able to witness, not only to her family but to the people around. I would always see that when there are people who need her help, especially to those who are sick, she would actually visit them, and people who, members of her relatives who die, she would also visit them. Even if how far is the place, how far the place is, she would always go there. Just to show her presence, and of course charitably also bring anything that would help the bereaved members of the family. What I really experienced with my Patrick is when I was a priest already was her presence showed really how she cared for anyone. I myself experienced it from her, that she was not so thoughtful, and then very generous, very charitable.
Very generous gid si nanay. Kapin pa sa iyang mga relatives.
Wagi kami may na tuman, may makatlo sa amon mga relatives niya or mga pigado nga nagapuli lang, wala gidala.
Si nanay, after sa death sa iya mother, nag-stab na siya sa iya, nag-transfer siya from one auntie to another, kung sino niya nga relative, para lang to survive. Ang amo na karon nga ang iya mga paryente hindi iya gid na malipatan. Kag ginahambal niya gid na sa amon nga inang iya mga paryente nakabuli gina sa iya pagpadako pagpangabuhi iya. Kay so maabot ang time nga ang iya paryente mapalapit lang sa iya bisan magbisita, not necessarily mangayo bulig. Iya ginaamuma, iya gina entertain.
In Bato, Central Bato, she was able to actually donate so much for the construction of the church there, the Saint Truc Parish in Bato. It was actually their family who really financed it, and made it possible that it would be really built. Despite of the thing that not only that they had to give in the finances, but also in actually visiting time to time, what would be the development of that parish. Among the priests who were also there, and in other cases, other priests in Bacolod, I know that they have been also funding seminarians to become priests, and even would help the priests in their parishes. And I would say that they also see that the priests that are being held are those priests who actually not assigned in poor parishes. Or in many occasions would also help many people who are indigents in the process. So, what I really experienced with my patring is when I was a priest already was her presence showed really how she cared for anyone. I myself experienced it from her. That she was not so thoughtful, and then very generous, very very charitable.
One time, si nanay, nagkato kami sa simbahan. Nagsiling siya nga, nagkato siya sa pare. Nagsiling siya nga, siguro may paguro ini nga simbahan, mabutang tadi isa karon para sa mga eskwelahan sa mga bata, nagagmay. Kaya siya nga, ang protestante gani, magkapatindog sila sa kinder school sa kabataan na kita father nga hindi ta makakwante ang pare. Why gid ka tingog kay balo ang pare mo nga budlay kung magpatindog wala kwarta, wala ano. Pero sa nagsiling ko dahil nay, kung why man na sila igasto niya, sige lang. Kaya atong ginapangitaan ang magastuhan.
Isa sang benefactors sang Centro Formation Center, amo to si the late Nanay Patring Havelosa. Ginapadalan niya ang mga kabataan sa iyang mga tinawo, nga mga preschool diri. Kag siya ang nagabayad sa monthly tuition and the uniform.
Recently, we have a project now, a Resurrection Chapel, project by Nanay Patring.
Amo nakit-an man nga daw kinahanglanon ang Resurrection Chapel para nga makabulig man sa mga pigado namon ring nga mga utod kung may kalisod sila. Initani siya nga project ginkuha ini sa mga donasyon sang pagsilibrar namon sang akon bana sang amon golden wedding anniversary. Akong ginsiling nga imbis sang regalo, donation na lang para makapatindog kami sang Resurrection Chapel. So amo na ni karon ang ginahimo diri namon sa amon barangay para nga ang mga tawo man may butangan sila nga maayo man nga lugar kung may ara sila sa ila kalisod.
So we're very thankful for this beautiful project of Nanay Patring.
In the Redemptorist mission in Sagay in the late 1960s, the icon touched the life of my grandmother. My grandmother was touched by the icon and became a devotee whose devotion is seen concretely in her life, in the way she raised her children, and in the way she helped others. She is a devotee with a mission. The icon touched the life of Patria, and in the process, she also became an icon to her children, grandchildren, and to other people. The icon of our Mother of Perpetual Health invites us to come to Jesus, the Perpetual Health, and in the process, Mary also invites us to become an icon to others.